and JJ.
Hit it!
It's time for the Frangie Show on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, we welcome you in. A little bit of a hump day edition brought to you by our friends at Coil Fencing, the best in the business. Saw my friends from Coil today, played a little golf with that group. Good to have you with us on a Wednesday. Frangie and Carline and La Selva with you. A little bit of a hump day as we get set for a Jaguar road trip to the desert. Going to the desert, Carline.
That's right.
I don't know where you're going. I'm going to the desert.
I am not going.
A lot to talk about today on the program. We'll certainly talk about the significance of that game. We do that always midweek, but it's a little different paradigm. It feels different to me. We'll certainly talk about – I got one question to ask you about the Jags, and they're kind of a mindset question. That comes up in just a bit on the program. Well, the latest on Lane Kiffin, I'll tell you what I think might have heard or not heard. I don't want to misrepresent this as there's any inside information coming. There's not. It's more just of an assessment of where I think it might be. So it's not there's no breaking news, just a breaking opinion. We'll talk a little bit about that. Brett Hastings stops by today. Sports and Courts is going to be interesting. What tampering rules are there? Can you talk to somebody who's under contract? Sounds like you can, because they have. Whereas in the NFL you can't. So, but we're gonna delve into that. Brett's got some ideas on that from a contractual standpoint. So that comes up on the program today as well. So I'm looking forward to that. So I'll talk a little bit of college hoop. I got a thought or two about that coming up in the show today, and all kind of fun stuff we're gonna do. We will have our State Farm College football report. Shane Matthews, Tom Block, Joe Zagacki will be here today, and we're getting closer and closer, obviously, to the Tom Coughlin J Fund Radiothon, which we're so proud of around here. So we're going to have a guest from the J Fund to tell us all about kind of where the J Fund world is now. It's all kind of fun stuff coming up as we get closer and closer. By the way, the J Fund Radiothon is Wednesday, December 3rd. That really is right around the corner. So we'll certainly talk more about that as we get closer and closer to it. So all kind of fun stuff coming up on the program today. Give me the latest on Kiffin. He's taking the job yet?
He has not taken the job yet. He is not the Gators coach yet.
Okay, but John Sumrall might be.
No, there's 0.0% chance of that. That I can assure.
But that's not what my Twitter says, Carline.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe you don't understand what Twitter is.
Yeah.
Twitter's always right, and it's on my. You know where Twitter is?
Yeah.
My phone.
That's right.
Okay,
yeah.
and on my phone it says that John Sumrall is being interviewed.
I mean, doesn't that feel like a smokescreen to you?
You and I just talked about it before we came on the air. Joking aside, I don't know what to think. You made a great. I don't want to steal your point. Make the point you made to me, because I don't want to steal your thunder, because it was a great point. I wish I'd said it.
I think there's a couple of things going on with this. First off, Gator fans, it's not going to be John Sumrall. So why would? First off, you always have to start with, okay, well, who's leaking this? Well, this particular report is coming from the Florida beat, which means they probably got it from Florida. So why would Florida want to put it out there that they're talking or have talked with John Sumrall about their coaching position? To me, it's one of two things. Either they're a little annoyed by how Jimmy Sexton is handling or Kiffin, how Kiffin's camp is handling, the process. And it's like, okay, if you want to go tour Baton Rouge, that's fine. But we're also going to talk to other coaches and, get, what they would take the job for and things like that. So it could be gamesmanship. I don't think it's that, because I think the Florida and Kiffin relationship is pretty far down the road in terms of him becoming the coach. So why would they do this? Well, you would do it because it does take immediate heat off of Lane Kiffin, who, by the way, just had about 3 hours ago one of the most bizarre SEC teleconferences you'll ever see, because it was 10 minutes of Kiffin being asked only about his future and the jobs, and are you going to coach Mississippi State? That you coach the Mississippi State game next week. I mean, it was a clown show. I mean, I don't mean to insult but the purpose of that teleconference is to talk about the team and the season that you're having. And Ole Miss is on a bye this week, but it was so again. When I say that, nothing against the reporters. I get it. They've got a job and they're trying to write the stories and that people are going to be the most interested in. But it totally derailed. And so I just think I can only imagine the boiling point in Oxford, Mississippi over this story. And they've been dealing with this now in their face for a month.
Yes.
And I think for Kiffin's camp, it does help if the narrative around Florida isn't that Florida's just waiting on Lane Kiffin. If Florida looks like they're still conducting a search, then that does take some pressure off of Lane Kiffin, who I think definitely wants the vibe to be, look, I haven't decided what I'm doing yet. A lot of people believe he has decided, but Kiffin obviously wants to create it, whether it's because of an Ole Miss ultimatum, whether it's because of the backlash that he's already receiving from the Ole Miss fans, whatever it is. He clearly wants it to be that, look, I haven't decided. When we get to the appropriate time, I'll make that decision, but I'm not there yet. So I think this just sort of helps because it creates the perception that that Florida is still actively pursuing candidates beyond Lane Kiffin.
Yeah, it's of all the things I thought about, you made a great point. The first thing you said there, all the beat guys have it. You almost wonder if Florida leaked it, to your point. Florida just got it out there for whatever reason. We haven't seen any leaking of anybody, Kiffin included. Haven't seen any leaking of Florida talk. Now, there's word all around that Florida and Kiffin have talked, but nothing is tangible as today's. Today's, it said Florida has reached out to John Sumrall. They're having conversations about it. That was the most. I mean, it almost was. And I never thought about it. You said that to me before the show, and I kind of agree with you. It's almost like someone said, "Here, write this. Here, you want me to give you something good?
Yeah,
we're talking to John Sumrall."
Right.
So what would be the point in that? Knowing that there's no Florida fan, and by the way, poor John Sumrall. He might be the next coming of Newt Rockne. Okay, but every fan in the world, and again, I'm going to be clear about this. This is totally unfair. But any Gator fan in the world thinks you're just hiring Billy Napier again. He may be the most totally different Billy Napier guy of all time, but every Florida fan on the planet, Hayes, will think you're hiring Billy Napier again. I mean, it's even the same state. It's not just it's the same league. It's the same state. I mean, he might live in the same neighborhood for all I know. I mean, so fair or not, everybody and their brother, that's what they're going to think.
Here's the other thing, too. This just occurred to me, and so I looked it up. John Sumrall's agent, Jimmy Sexton.
Well, of course it is.
So it also could be
right.
like, hey, do me a solid here.
Yeah.
I want to get my guy's name out there for the Auburn job, perhaps, or something like that.
Yeah.
So, hey, we're working together on this Kiffin thing.
Yeah,
Can you guys do us a favor? Leak it that you're talking to Sumrall, because it'll take some of the heat off of us with Lane, and it helps my guy, because now Auburn is looking at it like, ooh, well, Florida was interested in John Sumrall. Maybe that's a guy that we should look at. We know that that's how the world works. So the fact that Jimmy Sexton.
Of course, Jimmy Sexton. I don't know.
But no, when I saw it, I was like, well, maybe he's a Trace guy.
Yeah.
And maybe because in other words, so eliminate, it's not gamesmanship with Kiffin. It's not gamesmanship over Kiffin talking to LSU, because you wouldn't do that. You'd reach out to a candidate that Jimmy Sexton doesn't represent. So, I think this is probably Florida doing the Kiffin camp a solid.
Yeah. So we'll see what will happen. So we'll talk more about the whole Kiffin thing, where it's going to land, where it's not going to land. Is John Sumrall? Brett Hastings is here, and we haven't brought Brett on yet. He wants it to be Sumrall because he's
got such belief in Scott Strickland.
He already. You know who he misses? He misses Napier. He misses Napier. What I want John Sumrall to do.
The glory days.
What I want is. Can I tell you what I want? Is it okay if I have needs? I need 2 tight ends, but you know what I need them weighing? About 280 each.
Yeah.
And if they start out on the right side of the line, you know what I want to see have happen? Can I tell you? Shift to the left. That's what I want, okay? If I can have that, and then I need a receiver going in motion. Am I asking too much? My needs are small, okay? Yeah. I just got a few little things that are important to me.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how shocked would you be if this search ended with John Sumrall as the Florida coach?
Shocked.
10 out of 10?
10 out of 10.
Yeah.
10 out of 10. And again, look, Liam Cohen thinks the world of John Sumrall. They're very good friends. I know a lot of
This is nothing against him.
Correct. Yeah. He might be a wonderful coach and a wonderful guy, and it has nothing to do with how good he is or isn't. And I want to be clear about that. I know nothing about John Sumrall as a coach. I can't fathom that Florida, under any circumstances, is going to go get a group of 6 coach from the Sun Belt in the state of Louisiana. Napier beat in a bowl game. It would almost be comical. It would almost be it would almost be comical. And that's why when I saw this, I said, come on. Sometimes you do have to make a decision based on the optics. Or let me rephrase that. Maybe not. But you have to avoid a decision based on the optics. So, no, when I saw that, I said...
And if you're going to do something that's a farce, it's got to be the same agent as Kiffin's agent. It's got to be Jimmy Sexton.
And Napier's agent. And everybody's agent. So, but anyway, we'll still talk. But anyway, we're going to take a break. We do have sports and courts. Brett's got an interesting topic because Brett does a good job delving into this. Are there tampering rules? Can you get in trouble by interviewing a guy who's already under contract? No one's talked about that. Now, in the NFL, it's very clear. But the college doesn't seem to have that. Where could this thing be going? Could there be a lawsuit because somebody handled the conversation improperly? We're going to talk about that. That'll be sports and courts. He's always Brett always does a good job of that. We'll have that coming up in a bit. We are going to talk about, we're going to meet somebody from the Tom Coughlin Radio Fund, the Tom Coughlin J Fund Radiothon. That's coming up on December 3rd, 2 days before certainly our toy drives. We got a lot of charitable things happening in December. We're certainly excited about that. All that comes up in just a bit. A lot of things to talk about. We'll talk some Jaguars football. My Jaguar question when we get to that, by the way, where's the emotion psychology of this game? You know that? Every game we went into the Texans game thinking it was so big because you could put them out of their misery and sweep them, and then you lost to them. It was devastating, and then the Chargers game almost became must-win because you were so down from – well, I'm trying to find, is there an emotional anything?
There's no juice.
Is there good or bad juice? Is there any? So let's talk about that. We'll talk about that coming up. But when we come back, let's start the program with Sports and Courts. Brett Hastings is here. This is 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
4th and goal at the 1. They set up in the eye.
When you add up the moments and break down the best,
It's a hostile environment.
you're left with a performance-painting, high-performance play of the game
Up in the air, it is caught!
on 1010XL.
This is Hayes Carlion for Harold and Harold. I was at lunch with my good friend Holt, and he was telling me that sometimes a lawyer can get more from a case than their own client. I was surprised to hear this, but Holt said that doesn't happen with Harold and Harold. They'll never take a fee that is greater than their own client. When they say they treat their clients as a person and not a file, they mean it. Hopefully you won't need them, but if you're ever injured, call Harold and Harold at 904-251-1111. That's 904-251-1111.
Now, the Randy Marion Cadillac Drive of the Game. Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville. Drive to the game in luxury with Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville.
The young guns styled and profiled all over their opponents and put together a drive that displayed their dominance. Trevor Lawrence led the group on a 16-play, 76-yard drive, capped off by a Tim Patrick touchdown, making the score 28-6 with 11:38 left in regulation. The 9-minute drive is your Randy Marion Cadillac Drive of the Game.
Attention small business owners. Did you know you can get 100% tax deduction on a brand new Cadillac?
That's right. Choose your new Cadillac and qualify for a 2025 tax deduction of up to 100% of the purchase price.
There's never been a better time to own a Cadillac and drive your business forward in style.
Visit Randy Marion Cadillac on Southside Boulevard in Jacksonville today for incredible deals and expert advice.
Don't miss your chance. Experience the luxury you deserve and the savings you need.
Plus tax tag title, $9.99 admin fee and resistol on approved credit.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On November 19, 2019, LeBron James recorded 25 points, 11 rebounds, and 10 assists, becoming the first player with a triple-double against all 30 NBA franchises.
Big Chief Tire makes auto care more affordable with 6-month financing through the CFNA credit card. Frank Frangie here. Plus, get $50 off your first purchase when you sign up. Whether you need new tires, brake service, or general repairs, their expert technicians have you covered. With no interest for 6 months, now's the perfect time to take care of your vehicle. Visit WeKeepJacksRollin.com or call 904-932-0950 to apply today. Big Chief Tire keeps Jacks rolling.
Mike Dempsey for Apex Roofing and Contracting of Jacksonville Beach. If your roof's got any damage, if it leaks, if it's just old and ugly, call my friends at Apex Roofing. But Mike, roofs are so expensive. It's true, quality roofing is not cheap. But Apex Roofing has up to 100% financing available, so you don't have to compromise quality for budget. Apex Roofing. No shortcuts, no stress, just quality work with financing available. Reach for the peak with Apex Roofing and Contracting in Jacksonville Beach. ApexRoofingFL.com.
When all you have is a hammer, everything is a nail. I'm Dr. George Bari, and like me, I know you have been bombarded with PRP and stem cell treatments from companies that promise the world and charge prices to match. Or the surgeon that convinced you the only way to treat your injuries through surgery. At Bari Orthopedics, we offer the best PRP treatment on the market with prices that won't cost you an arm and a leg. We also have the expertise to treat your injury surgically, if that is what it entails. We can discuss all surgical and non-surgical options with you and make sure you get the best treatment available. Come see me, Dr. George Bari at Bari Orthopedics.
Hey, it's Travis from Cannons of Jacks. Thank you for trusting us for 55 years of custom welding fabrication and vehicle towing accessories. When you need a trailer hitch for the family car, a gooseneck for the company truck, or even RV towing options, call us at Cannons. We can do a bumper hitch, fifth wheel hitch, anything for safe, reliable towing. Come to Cannons of Jacks, where service is our #1 priority and we treat our customers as we like to be treated. Check us out online, cannonsofjacks.com.
Craving tacos? Take advantage of the amazing lunch specials at One Night Taco Stand. Get bold flavors and bang for your buck with the Taco Trio. Choose any 3 tacos for just $10.99. If you're looking for a Taco Tuesday special every day, then look no further than One Night Taco Stand. 3 Jacksonville locations: Mandarin, Orange Park, and Southside at Bay Meadows.
1010XL, presented by Farrah and Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farrah doesn't flinch.
Now time for Sports in Courts, legal issues in the sports world with Brett Hastings from the Hastings Injury Law Firm. Hit back with Hastings.
Brett Hastings is here as we talk more about the only thing anyone's talking about now other than Jaguar football is Lane Kiffin. But you brought an interesting point to me. What are you allowed to do and not allowed to do with regard to reaching out, right? Kind of frame that up for us a little bit.
So things have changed a little bit, right? In the past, this used to be, I think, a bigger issue with college coaches. But I think what everybody has to understand is there's not like a specific framework that really everybody has or wants to follow, right, for college coaches. But Hayes just probably pointed out the single most important thing that dictates the form of these contracts, the rights of these contracts, and it's Jimmy Sexton, right? Because he represents this group of guys, and a lot of times, you know, there are things that the university wants to have, but really the agents and with their own transactional lawyers will do as much as they can to structure it. One of the big things, you know, in this case is there's some limitations on how long contracts can be in place and other stuff under Mississippi law. They can't match a Florida or an LSU for the length of the contract. There's nothing in our statutes or anything that has to do with Florida law that says, you know, and obviously it's silly season. I saw something the other day that said 10 years, you know, $15 million a year. I would be shocked if that were the case, but you could do that in Florida. You couldn't do that in Mississippi. But when we talk about interfering with the contracts, there is a cause of action. It's intentional interference with an existing contractual relationship. But a lot of that comes down to knowledge, right? And so you remember there used to be coaches, and I remember this over the years in some of the past coaching searches where universities say you got 5 days to talk to everybody, right? I haven't been able to see Kiffin's contract. I don't know it. But the other side would have to have knowledge of that. You know, a lot of times these things aren't necessarily publicly available for you to be able to have an action. But the biggest thing that all of these guys have that Jimmy Sexton has wanted to have that really kind of eliminates liability for calling them up, right, in an employment context is the buyout clause. Because the buyout clause is basically like, you know, what we talk about in the law at other times, like a liquidated damages clause. Say, hey, you want to come hire him? This is what it costs to do it. And so that's part of the contract. But as a general rule, it really defeats the ability to bring these other lawsuits and interfere with it, right? It basically says, you want to come and try to hire him? This is what it costs. And you see a lot of times to eliminate any of this other uncertainty, here's that amount. As I understand it, this was just what I saw on media reports getting ready for today. it's a real low buyout. Well, as for Lane Kiffin, it's $3 million as compared to some of these other coaches.
In regards to tampering, it's hard to have any sort of enforcement with coaches because we're seeing it with players. I mean,
Right.
Players, particularly once a school fires a coach, I mean, we hear coaches complain about it, that, other schools are calling my players, which in the NFL, they're very tight about that. That's all
Right.
regulated in the CBA, but in the amateur athletics world, college football world,
Right.
there's really nothing that bans you from tampering.
Yeah, and I think what you'd have to have a successful tampering action is, to show that you have the state of Mississippi or Louisiana or Florida gives you an email that comes through the university, and you're figuring out ways to communicate with players, or in those instances with coaches, in different ways, and ask for phone numbers for the staff and start trying to make offers to other people and really just go and try to circumvent everything, right? But all you got to do is call Jimmy Sexton, right? I would think, as I understand it, the ZRG and Jimmy Sexton,
right?
Those are going back and forth if Hayes is right and what he was saying, and it really makes a lot of sense that maybe you go put this smoke screen out or what have you. That's what's taking place, right? Or sort of those verbal discussions, and you allow that to take place. That's really why you have a representative. And a lot of times it's why we say, hey, talk through your lawyer. And the reason why is that, if you have an ongoing criminal case or a civil case, anything that the person who's a party says is going to be later really admissible in Florida. We call that an admission. It gets you outside of hearsay, right? But what the lawyer says or does isn't really, you can't rely on it. You can't bring it in for proof. And so that's really what Jimmy Sexton's doing, right? And you're right. You want to, what's the most powerful thing for somebody when, our listeners, when they're going out to, buy a house or do, somebody else is interested. The offer's coming in today. They really want it. I've heard they're going to pay the asking price. Maybe you need to pay more or not, And so that's really, 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 important. And at the end of the day, heck, Alligator Nation wants Lane Kiffin, right? So you sure got to go create somebody else that you think can offer the same amount of money or provide any of those things. And so, to me, there are just so many factors or reasons why I don't see him going to LSU. But if you're Jimmy Sexton, you want to absolutely convince, the UAA that's the case. And I would think the other thing that Jimmy would want to do a lot of is limit communication between the University of Florida and Lane.
Let me ask you this. Could you create a paradigm where there is tampering rules? There are tampering rules like there are in pro sports. I mean, could you create something that says, listen, part of all these contracts are that the school that if Auburn contacts Lane Kiffin while he's still employed by Ole Miss, then they lose 10 scholarships.
100%. This is one of the big issues that I have with our friend, your friend, Scott Strickland. I would go, and if I signed Lane Kiffin on Monday, I'd send a certified mail letter with everybody and let them know when the only time is that they could contact them. I'd let them know any of the other things so nobody could claim that they. Well, what I'm saying is, you say create a paradigm.
Yeah, well, what I'm saying is Scott Strickland can't make the rule. I'm saying, can NCAA make the rule that says, Scott Strickland can't cost Auburn a scholarship.
Well, why can't you put covenants not to compete?
Yeah.
I could go and say, you can take this job, but you can't go to anywhere else in the Southeastern Conference, and the first $5 million I pay you is part of that promise. You can 100% do that legally.
Yeah, you could. No, I hear you. Let me just stop you. You could do that, and then Sexton and Kiffin would have to either agree or not agree to it. But that's not. I get that. But my question's a different one. Well, my question is, can the NCAA or whoever, or the SEC, or someone put in a rule that if you contact a coach, this has nothing to do with what the ADs do. If you contact a coach that's under contract, other than in this window let's create, then you lose 10 scholarships.
Absolutely, you could do that.
Would that be good or bad?
That would be good, right? Potentially. if everybody agreed to it. But what I was going to say to you is, why do we have these things in the NFL? Because they're better businessmen. And this isn't like the issues that we have with players because they have collectively bargained, right? What we've seen is there's a higher level of sophistication by those teams and everybody else. What I really think is happening is obviously amateur sports is becoming professional sports, but we have academics. We don't have businessmen, They're not like general managers.
Yeah.
Gladstone, Scott Strickland are not the same guy, right? Good football men, but they're also very good businessmen and relying on everybody else, for those things. So I believe the paradigm could change now. Now, it's probably not going to change if Florida can get Lane Kiffin because Lane Kiffin has all the leverage.
Right.
But those things should have happened if you're going to go hire John Summerall.
Right.
I'd be the first AD. I would try to get with the other ADs. We could loosely talk about it and then go in and why not have an incentive-based contract?
Yeah.
Why don't you get X compensation when you go 4 and 8?
No, I know. I agree. I don't disagree with that. These are different questions, though.
It's a leverage question to change a paradigm.
Yeah. Hayes, let me ask you. You understand? You know the NFL rules way better than I do. If an NFL team looking for a head coach calls a head coach while he's under contract, it's tampering, right?
Correct.
Right.
What draft picks or you don't have to know exactly.
That's what I would think it would be. You lose a draft.
You could lose a couple draft. You could lose a draft pick. Well, and I think that's a good rule. The last thing you need to do is call my coach while he's coaching my team because you want him to coach your team.
Yeah, the Dolphins lost draft picks for reaching out to Tom Brady when he was under contract. So that's a player, but
same thing.
But I would think it would be a similar penalty.
So I mean, I just wonder if college football could come up with something similar.
Oh, I think they could.
And I think they kind of should.
I just think they have so many issues now that
I agree.
Until
that wouldn't be nearly as important as I hear you.
Yeah, I mean it's a good thought, but there's also probably an element to this. If there really were a college football commissioner, well, this is gold. It's all everybody's talking about.
100%.
I mean, this is helping your sport in terms of notoriety. I mean, without the Lane Kiffin saga, what would we be talking about this week in terms of SEC football? I mean, it's a wasteland weekend, as evidenced by the fact that Kirk Herbstreit and Chris Fowler are in Gainesville to cover the Tennessee game. So, I mean, I think it's actually helping college football because it's the biggest story probably in sports right now.
Right.
At least in the South, is what is Lane Kiffin's future?
Right. And now economically, this is it's so much money, right?
Yeah.
And the coach, if you looked at the pros and colleges, I agree with you, Frank, that there should be something like that in place. I think that's a great idea. Up to this point, people tended to get a lot more time. And now all of a sudden you're seeing it's as short as those pro windows as well. But it's really a shame. They tried to fix some of these portal rules, but now because of the timing and because of the playoff and, because of these other successful coaches, I mean, hey, is the Gator fan in me? Do I want Lane Kiffin? Absolutely. But as a dad, you still got a bunch of 18 and 20-year-old kids that are in the playoff out there, and they're just sort of sitting dead in the water right now while all of this is going on.
And again, if college football ever had a commissioner, like we've always heard they're talking about it getting closer and closer to the NFL. There's now free agency. There's now salaries. There's now all that. Well, if they ever got to where there's one commissioner, and there's been talk about it, we haven't gotten there yet, but if there's ever a commissioner of college football, and then I think you'd see rules like that, then I think tampering would be a thing. So I do. It'll be very interesting to see. I don't know what legalities exist, Brett. Now it's still sort of the Wild West. Any AD can call any coach anytime he wants, and any AD can try and pry a coach. It almost seems unfair that Lane Kiffin is under contract to Ole Miss for I don't know what's left on his current contract, 2 or 3 years, whatever. Yeah. That he's got 2 or 3 years left on his current contract, and meanwhile the AD at LSU and Florida can call him anytime they want and try and steal him. Whereas pro sports are wise not to allow that.
No, I totally agree. And I think the biggest driver of this now is this portal window. And it's because these universities have made an investment in these players, right? So we need to know now. So now all this is happening. I mean, I do believe this is because Florida, LSU, and everybody else has done it. And I think Jimmy Sexton's doing what he should do for his client, which is drive up the price. And so now is when he has to drive it up. But it's not in the best interest of the game, and it's not in the best interest of the student athletes.
It's interesting stuff. Brett Hastings, the law firm, the Hastings Injury Law Firm. That is Sports and Course. Nice job as always. We'll take a break. More in a moment. 1010XL 92.5 FM.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Welcome to Rockville. Returns to Daytona International Speedway May 7th through 10th with Foo Fighters, My Chemical Romance, Guns N' Roses, and Bring Me the Horizon. Plus, Turnstile, Five Finger Death Punch, The Offspring, Breaking Benjamin, A Day to Remember, Godsmack, and so many more. Welcome to Rockville, May 7th through 10th. Passes on sale now for as low as $1 down at welcometorockville.com.
Frank Frangie here for my friend and insurance agent Craig Dewhurst. Craig has been helping families on the First Coast with their insurance needs for 25 years as your good neighbor and local State Farm agent. Now's a great time to review your insurance policies, whether you need auto, homeowners, or renter's insurance, or insurance for your golf cart, boat, or jet skis. Craig handles all of my family's insurance needs, and even better, he gives back to the community. Call Craig today at 904-940-9740. That's 904-940-9740.
Waiting around for Black Friday? At Beaver Toyota, Beaver Chevrolet, and Beaver Mitsubishi, we've already dropped Black Friday prices. That's right, thousands of vehicles priced to move now. Get zero down, no payments for 90 days, plus peace of mind with a lifetime warranty. Don't wait for the crowds. Get your Black Friday deal today. Start saving early with Beaver Toyota, Beaver Chevrolet, and Beaver Mitsubishi, where Black Friday starts right now. That'll wow ya.
Tired of roofers who never answer the phone and just use AI?
I'm Morgan Conley, the People's Roofer. I answer every call. No robots, no runaround. I'm born here, built here, staying here. Visit MorganConleyRoofing.org.
Hey, Jacksonville DDH. Dreamfinders Danny Hicken here with the scoop from Dreamfinders Homes, your National Builder of the Year. We've got first-year interest rates as low as 2.99% in homes in 20-plus communities throughout Northeast Florida. If you're house hunting, make sure your first pick Dreamfinders Homes, the proud official home builder of the PGA Tour, the Florida Gators, and your Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit dfhsalesevent.com today and tell them Dreamfinders Danny sent you.
Hey, Jags fans, Tommy Mack here. Crown Royal is the official whiskey of the Jacksonville Jaguars. This season, it's not game day without the generous spirit of Crown Royal. Whether you're at the tailgate, in the stands, or watching from home, Crown Royal is the reason and the reward for coming together. Grab a glass with Crown Royal Rig at a stadium near you, because we'll be sharing the generous spirit with fans across the country. Crown Royal, fueling game day with generous spirit. Visit crownroyal.com/Royal Rig on the Crown Royal Rig Tour. Please drink responsibly.
I'm here with Clayton Bromberg of Underwoods. You hear about guarantees and warranties. What is Underwood's policy?
Frank, to talk about guarantees and warranties, you have to look at our history of over 70 years in business. Underwood's entire reason for existence is and has been to offer fine products that'll be used with such satisfaction that both the giver and the receiver will want to come back. And hopefully they'll tell their friends about us. To do this means we've got to try our hardest to satisfy every customer. All of our people understand that. Now, I'm sure over the years we've made a few mistakes, but we've never failed to make good on any Underwood product that was returned with a legitimate customer complaint. Our entire reputation would mean nothing if we didn't conduct ourselves that way. Simply put, conducting our business with integrity is a lot more important to Underwoods and our customers than all the guarantees, warranties, and contrived legal obligations in the world. And you've got Underwood's word, my word, and all of our people's word on that.
Underwoods in San Marco, Avondale, and the shops of Ponte Vedra.
Game days aren't the only win happening in the 904. Best of Bold City named 904 Gutters with a Z, the #1 seamless gutter company in Duval. Like the team's O-line protects their QB. Call the winning team at 904 Gutters with a Z to protect your home from the rain.
1010XL, presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
Back to a Coyle and Sons Wednesday. Since 1927, they've been around the block and probably fenced it too.
Sure appreciate my friends from Coyle and Sons, my buddy Eric Gedemy, who owns the company. Had a bunch of us out play golf today. We sure appreciate that. Eric's a buddy of mine and a neighbor. And the Coyle and Sons folks, gosh, they're getting so much work now. Every time you turn around, they've got a new job. They're doing a lot of work for us. You know this, at the Bregan Baseball Complex, where Walk-Off Charities are our home. But no matter what it is you need, whether it's residential, whether it's commercial fencing, the name's out there now. Coyle and Sons Fencing. CoyleJacks.com is the website. The phone number is 904-356-4821. Overhead doors, bathroom partitions, and, of course, the best fencing around. Commercial or residential, call Coyle and Sons today. We do have to announce that we have a break. We have to take a quick break in Lane Kiffin Radio to talk about that other team, the Jacksonville Jaguars, if that's okay.
By the way, now apparently the meeting is off.
Now
there
they're
is
not
no
meeting.
Summerall meeting. So whether it's called off or whether it was just wrong.
There's now not a meeting.
Now there's not a meeting. So
okay, at least for now.
Yeah, we'll update you when Jed Fish has a meeting, which we expect to be announced any minute. And I'm kidding.
What is the mindset of the Jaguars? Relaxed, relieved, confident? You were down there today. We're going to hear from Devon Hamilton in just a second. But before we do, big picture, what's the mindset as you see it?
I think they're in a really good place. I think that they feel like they've gotten back to their identity. I think that's the biggest thing. I mean, they didn't just beat LA. I mean, they whipped the Chargers. I mean, as like men. That was every bit the butt kicking that you'll ever see in an NFL game. And so I think it's okay. Now we have regained the identity that we had in September when we got off to the 4-1 start. And now we just have to continue that. But this is going to be a test of their professionalism because it's a week where all they're going to hear about is how great they are. And now you got the tiebreaker over the Chargers and Chiefs and things like that. And there's really there's no history with these two organizations. They've played like half a dozen times. So you see them you go over to Arizona every 8 years. So this is a game where you've got to be a pro. You've got to manufacture your motivation. And but I think for the Jaguars, it's pretty simple. It's like, look, we're back to being the bully, and let's go to Arizona and bully them.
Yeah, we talked about how you handle adversity. Well, how you handle success is a big part of the equation as well. One thing you do know is last week when the Jags handled the Chargers, they did it physically. Both lines of scrimmage were very physical, more physical than their Los Angeles counterparts. One of those players was the nose guard, Devon Hamilton. He's the subject of this Hayes Carlyon one-on-one.
Now, Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors takes you in the locker room.
We're pleased to be joined with Jaguars defensive tackle Devon Hamilton here on 1010XL 92.5 FM. It's great to see you. How you doing?
Doing good. About yourself?
I'm doing great. I haven't talked to you in a few weeks. That was a great play to beat the Raiders in Las Vegas. I know you've talked a lot about it, but if you'll indulge me, kind of walk us through once more that play that you made to preserve the win.
I mean, I was just out there just trying to make a play, and, the play really came to me. I just was really blessed and lucky to, the ball hadn't been thrown over top of me, and, I really thought about batting the ball and then really brought it to life, so it worked out pretty well.
You've got good hang time.
Yeah, just trying to make plays, man.
What was it like celebrating with your team in that moment?
It was very surreal. Honestly, right after I did it, I thought we still were playing. I was just so locked in that moment. Just didn't even know what was going on. Are we still playing? And it kind of, that was for the game, really. Okay. That was a pretty crazy moment. I'd always cherish that.
Did you ever had anything like that happen in your career before?
I can't say I have. Not like that. Not down the wire like that. That was pretty wild.
And then, Devon, you guys come back and play a great game against the Chargers. How much fun was it breaking down the film of what was pretty much a physical beating for 60 minutes?
We kind of did it pretty quickly. I mean, we took the last 2 days off and came in. We kind of have to just keep on moving forward. So we moved on pretty quickly, kind of acknowledged what we did, and know we can build off of that and allow that to be our momentum.
There weren't a lot of snaps. I think they were only on the field for like 48 snaps. Did that allow you guys to get out of the game pretty fresh?
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, other people played and got to really do what they do best, and we kept it quick. The offense was doing great that game, and yeah, allowed us to be pretty fresh now going into our next game.
You guys have established such an elite job stopping the run, second in the league. What's been the key in your mind, Devon, to everybody being on the same page and having that elite production stopping the run?
I just understand where we're supposed to be at. I think our preparation has been working pretty well for us. I mean, from linebackers to safeties, corners, we all know in the run game where we're at and where you should fit off of, what if this happened, kind of just, like I said, the preparation has been stellar for us.
They may get Trey Benson back, they be in Arizona, but the running back position for Arizona has sort of been in flux with some injuries. What stands out when you start to break down the Cardinals' ground game?
I just think they're just a physical group. I mean, there's no quit to them. Like, obviously, their record, I think it doesn't really show what they're very capable of. I mean, they put points on the board. They are able to score at any time, any place. So, I mean, it's going to be a good test for us.
What kind of respect do you have for Calais Campbell and the career that he's had?
I mean, 18 years in the league is a long time, and he's been doing it at a high level for the majority of those years. Like, I just can only hope that one day I get to that level, and hope I can ever get to the level he's playing at, man. I mean, he's still getting sacks, still creating pressure, he's still making tackles. Like, I mean, this guy's just a really good football player.
What are some elements of your game, Devon, that you're especially pleased with so far through the season?
I'm just being where my feet are at, being able to play, understand what the offense is doing, and just try to shed blocks and make tackles.
When you make a play like you did against the Raiders, who do you enjoy celebrating that with? Do you get, family reaching out and, family, friends?
Family and friends all reached out. Obviously it was on social media or whatever, and I just got so many text messages and calls and whatnot. But I just like celebrating with my wife and kids, getting back and seeing how they're doing. So, yeah, really close family.
Yeah, and you guys now with a win over the Chiefs, a win over the Chargers, those wins could be very handy come, playoff tiebreaker time. How exciting is it to be, playing meaningful football as we get deeper into the season?
It's very exciting. I mean, we still got to just take it 1 week at a time. We just got to keep on figuring out how to keep momentum going and how we can win games. And I just think that our resilience is going to be really shown in this last few weeks of the season.
Devon Hamilton, thanks so much for your time. Best of luck to you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I appreciate Devon Hamilton. And again, the Jaguars are second in the NFL in run defense. Devon Hamilton, obviously the biggest reason for that. Excellent run stuffer. And again, the Jaguars, it's arguably the best thing that they're doing. I mean, they've done a great job with takeaways. And they're still high. They're tied for second with 18 takeaways. So run defense and takeaways. There's nothing else that the Jaguars do where they're better than second in the league. So that run defense, Arizona doesn't seem like presents a lot of problems. They have a running back, DeMarcado, that'll miss the game. They did, I think, activate Trey Benson's window, the former Florida State back who's gifted. So perhaps maybe he'll be available, but it could also be like Brenton Strange where like they activated the window, like Burrow, like they've activated the window but not ready to play. So I'm not sure Arizona presents a lot of issues in terms of the ground. They're 24th running the ball, and you got to think some of that was Kyler Murray. And he's out. So they don't have a big-time ground game. So it would be disappointing if the Jaguar run defense doesn't hold the Cardinals to a very small number. Arizona may just abandon it like they did last week when Brissett threw it 57 times.
And we'll see what happens. Certainly the Jags find a way to play with that chip on their shoulder again. That's when they're very, very best. We'll take a break. We've got headlines after this. Stay with us.
The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Your play-by-play home of Bulls Bulldogs football is 1010XL.
After 8 straight wins, the Bulldogs State Championship chase continues. Friday at 7 against Florida State High School on 1010 AM.
This is Hayes Carline for Atlantic Infinity. The year-end sales event is going on now at Atlantic Infinity. Get 0% interest on select new Infinity models and special lease offers on the stunning QX60. Luxury, performance, and style all in one drive. All new vehicles come with the Atlantic Infinity Promise. That's almost $7,000 in added value just for buying smarter. Visit AtlanticInfinity.com or go test drive at Atlantic Infinity off Atlantic near St. John's Bluff.
Movember is Cancer Awareness Month, so educate yourself on the risk factors for prostate and other cancers. Take charge of your health. Many cancers are highly preventable. Trust the physicians at Ackerman Cancer Center. AckermanCancerCenter.com.
Hurricane season may be past us, but are you prepared for when your power goes out? A permanently installed Generac home standby generator does more than keep the lights on when the power fails. It delivers peace of mind. Whether you're home or not, your Generac home standby system kicks into action and continues to power your home until utility power returns. Give American Electrical a call at 737-7770 to find out more. For the best from Generac, check out american-electrical.com.
Wingstop and 1010XL has the ultimate tailgate for you to win. Leon Searcy here, your lemon pepper guy. Go to 1010XL.com to register to win a 100-piece wing party complete with fries, veggie sticks, and dips.
I'm Frank Frangie, and I've been telling you how proud I am of my daughter Amber, who's lost so much weight on Awaken 180. But it's been a while now, so I wonder if it's something she can maintain. So I sort of asked her, how's it going?
So far, so good, Dad. But you're right, it has been a while. But that's the beauty of the Awaken 180 plan. There's so much variety in the food choices, you don't get bored.
You look great. Do you feel better?
I feel so much better. And I know it's because of the weight loss and how it's changed my lifestyle. So there's no chance I won't sustain it.
Well, what about over the holidays? Look, you grew up in our home, and you know we love the holidays.
Oh, I still plan on enjoying the holidays. I just plan on doing it by eating right. And I've already had the conversation with my coach. She understands the challenges of the holidays, and she's guided so many folks just like me through this. We've already made a plan.
So take my kid's word for it. Awaken 180 works. It's sustainable, even over the holidays. So change your life by calling 844-346-1800 or visit awaken180weightloss.com.
Hey folks, Mike Dempsey here. You've heard me talking about Pella Windows and Doors with great ratings and expert reviews. You know they're high quality and energy efficient products. So what's your next step? Schedule a free consultation at PellaJacks.com or just stop by the Pella showroom on Phillips Highway. Their professional design consultants will guide you through your entire project from start to finish. And that's the quality and service you can expect from Pella Windows and Doors.
Yo, this is Tony from Tony D's. Are you looking for a great slice of pizza? Well, we have about 12 varieties. Most places won't have slices of pizza after lunch. At Tony D's, you can get a slice all day. It's always fresh at Tony D's Pizza. Bay Meadows and 295.
Celebrating 30 years in Jax Beach. Beach's Jewelry and Pawn is your go-to for cash on the spot. They buy gold. Huge sale on firearms all month. Save during Florida's Second Amendment sales tax holiday with no sales tax on firearms. Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jax Beach.
This is Hayes Carline from my friend Holt at Harrell & Harrell. There doesn't seem to be enough time in the day to get everything done. Then you get injured in an accident and you don't know what you're going to do. Let Harrell & Harrell make it easy for you. Easy on becoming a client. You can just text or email if you want. Easy on finding a doctor and getting through the process. Hopefully you won't need them, but if you're ever injured, call Harrell & Harrell and make it easy on yourself. Call them at 904-251-1111. That's 251-1111.
The drip from a leaky faucet isn't just annoying, it's wasteful. Worn parts or corrosion could waste thousands of gallons a year. Superior Plumbing and Pipeline will fix it fast. When your faucet's leaking, make the superior choice. Learn more at superiorplumbingjacks.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Gather round. It's Hayes' Headlines, presented by Harrell & Harrell. Don't settle for less than you deserve. Hear all about it. Here's Hayes Carline.
Welcome back to the Frangie Show. Thank you to our friends at Harrell & Harrell. Give them a call at 251-1111. Let's start with the Jaguars Cardinals. Calais Campbell, our old friend, is out playing good football for the Cardinals. Calais has 5 sacks. He's got to be, for a guy that didn't spend more than just a handful of years here, he's got to still be one of the most popular Jaguars that we've ever had.
That's a great call. I agree with you. 2 things. 3 things. Number 1, he was a really good player. Number 2, he played on that really good team. Well, we haven't had a lot of teams that captured our hearts like that 17.
And he kind of sparked it with that Week 1 dominating performance in Houston.
Yeah, and he is such a charismatic guy. He's involved in the community a lot, on TV a lot. So, really good player, A. B, the team was really good and his charisma. He didn't have to be here very long. And I tell you what, I'll give him credit. He decided he wasn't getting old, and he's refused to get old, hasn't he? He's been really good.
Without a doubt, Liam Cohen met with reporters earlier today and talked about the season and career that Calais Campbell has enjoyed.
He was one of our game records this morning in both defense and in special teams for the career block, extra points and field goals. So, but he is playing at a very high level. He utilizes that swim move at 6'8", and that can be hard on guards and interior offensive linemen, and then his strain through the down in terms of in the known passing situations, but also where he's extremely effective is batting balls down as well. So if he doesn't get maybe an edge in the rush, well, he's going to stop, and that's a brick wall there, So we've got to really make sure we're accounting for him, knowing his strengths, and be able to attack some of the weaknesses there and get his hands down, especially in the pass game.
Good point by Liam on not just the batting the balls down at the line, but also blocking kicks.
Yeah, he helps teams win in many, many ways, and he also helps teams win that have young players, that he has to coach them, if you will. Calais Campbell's terrific. There's no question about it.
The Jaguars and Cardinals have released their injury report for today, and it is lengthy on both sides. We'll start with the Jaguars. 16 players either limited or did not practice. Trayvon Walker and Yasir Abdullah were the two players that did not practice. Trayvon Walker battling a knee injury, Abdullah with the finger. The Jaguars had a very light workout today as well, so that's particularly with Trayvon. That's a concern for sure. Arizona, we already know without Marvin Harrison Jr. because of the appendix surgery. Running back Amari DeMercado is out with an ankle sprain. But in all, the Cardinals had 8 players that did not practice at all today.
Of all that you read there, and 2 players stand out to me. Marvin Harrison Jr. not playing is a big loss for them, particularly to the point you made earlier, Hayes, if they're going to have to throw it a bunch. And I hate it for Trayvon. I hope Trayvon bounces back from the knee injury. I have no idea what the significance of it is, but I hope it's not significant because he's had some tough injuries here, and I thought he played great last week. He really did before he got nicked a little.
Let's get to around the NFL. Falcons quarterback Michael Penix does have a torn ACL, so it will be Kirk Cousins for the rest of this season. We knew that, but now you worry if you're Atlanta about Penix's availability for week 1 of the 26th season.
What a tough spot that franchise is in. They had some hope this year. I can tell you there were some expectations they might be pretty good, and it really all fell apart, and this is kind of the icing on the cake. They're not very good. They haven't won many games, and now they've lost their quarterback of the future, and to your point, maybe beyond. Hopefully not. Hopefully he'll be ready for training camp and the season at least, even if you got to believe certainly that takes him out of everything else, mini camps, OTAs. But you hope for his sake he's back. But what a tough season for the Falcons.
Without a doubt. Jamar Chase suspension upheld, so he will miss Sunday's game.
Yes. Jalen Ramsey said he spit on me. He said he didn't. Video, I didn't see it, by the way, but the video seems to show that he did spit, so he gets suspended.
Joe Burrow, a full participant in practice, though.
Yeah, that's interesting.
That is good.
It'll be interesting to
Lord
see.
knows
They still made it sound like it was still going to be another week or so.
Yeah, he's like, I got to come back and Chase isn't here. Maybe I'll delay.
Yeah, exactly. Good call. Let's get it to Cleveland. Shedeur Sanders will start for the Browns this week against Las Vegas.
That's another franchise. What a mess that thing's had been at the quarterback position. But I'll say this. Now let's see. For all the people that thought Shedeur Sanders got a bad break or got a bad rap and should have been drafted higher, and well, okay, now he's your quarterback, and he's playing against a team that isn't all that good. So if they're, and again, look, in fairness, he's a rookie, and I get that. Rookies don't all of a sudden show up and they're great. But if there's anything in there, we'll now get to see it. I'm you know what? I'm kind of intrigued at watching it, aren't you?
Absolutely.
I'm interested to see what Shedeur Sanders has now that it's his game. This is the first time in the NFL he's had a game that's his game. Let's see how he does.
Absolutely. Let's get to college basketball. I thought this was really cool. Todd Golden and Carlin Hartman, his assistant, drove to Orlando to present Will Richard his championship rings as Golden State played at the Magic last night. Florida released a video. Golden State released a video. Kerr is sort of leading a team meeting and then says, hey, we've got some guests here to celebrate Will Richard, and Golden walks in, and really cool moment.
Yeah, it really is. Golden is so good. He's got such a good feel for that. Will Richard's such a respected guy, good player already in the NBA, but it extends the magic of that season, doesn't it? No pun intended. They were playing the Magic last night, but it extends the charm. What a year! What a freaking year in Gator basketball when all the other stuff's going so badly, at least in the prominent sports. Everything that can take us back to that magical run, I think, is fantastic. I really do.
Yeah, without a doubt. We've talked a little bit about Kentucky basketball. The number 12 ranked Wildcats get whipped by number 17 Michigan State, 83-66. Denzel Aberdeen struggled, shooting 1 of 8 from the floor with 3 turnovers and 4 fouls. Kentucky is 3-2 on the season, and there's already a little bit of pressure. You can tell Coach Pope really kind of not lost it, but was very animated in his post-game press conference.
You know what I noticed after the game was over? I went and looked at the box score. 4 of the 5 starters for Kentucky are portal guys. Now, that's no big deal anywhere else. But I wouldn't expect Duke and Kansas and North Carolina and Kentucky to live on portal guys. You know what I mean? Yeah. That surprised me. I think Mark Pope might be a very good coach there. But he better go start getting that 5-star out of New York City to land at Kentucky like he always has. I'll be interested to see where that goes.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be fun to watch. We will get you out on our musical note of the day. On this date, back in 1988, Bon Jovi reaches the top of the Billboard singles chart with this classic, Bad Medicine. The song would stay at the top spot for 2 weeks. This was the lead single for the band's 4th studio album, New Jersey, which went platinum 7 times over.
Great song, great album, really great American band. No question about it. Well done as always.
Thanks.
When we come back, we will start talking a little bit about our Tom Coughlin J-Fun Radiothon. It comes up on December 3rd. You're going to meet a special guest as we get ahead of that a little bit. I'm looking forward to it. It's 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
It's the ride home with The Frangie Show. From the Harrell and Harrell studio, don't settle for less than you deserve.
AA Automotive helps keep your car in dependable travel condition. Stop in today. They'll check the brakes, tires, fluids, electric, and AC to get you right back to your holiday plans. AA Automotive on Richard Street. Full service auto repair you can count on.
It's the one they put in high gear.
Keep going. We got to keep going, keep going, keep going.
It's the Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville Drive of the Game. Drive to the game in luxury with Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville on 1010XL.
Pork, chicken, brisket. Sometimes the best choice is not having to make one. That's why we're bringing back originals like our Sunny Sampler and Pork 3 Ways. Get your favorite proteins, 2 sides, and bread, starting at just $16.99. A little bit of everything, a whole lot of value. That's why it's always Sunny's here. Sunny's Barbecue, local pitmasters since '68.
This is Josh Woolsey with Woolsey Morecambe. When deciding what lawyer to trust with your car accident or injury case, the most reliable way is reviews and results. You want to be treated well, and you want a great result. Woolsey Morecambe's reviews speak for themselves, and I challenge any firm to compare results. We offer the resources of a large law firm and the customer service of a boutique practice. If you want to be treated right and want great results, call Woolsey Morecambe at 1-800-WOOLSEY and take the fear out of the fight. Offices, Jacksonville.
1010XL and Southeast Orthopedic Specialists congratulate our Scholar Athlete of the Week, McCarthy Crenshaw, senior tennis and basketball player at Fletcher High. McCarthy is a member of the Science, History, and National Honor Societies and is vice president of the Interact Club.
Hey, this is Lauren Brooks. With over 1,700 5-star Google reviews, it was a no-brainer to have Closets by Design help us get organized at home. They create custom storage for every space, lifestyle, and budget. From closets to garages to laundry rooms and more. Closets by Design will transform clutter into seamless organization. Call today to schedule your free in-home consultation before the holidays and get 40% off plus an extra 15% off with free installation. 18-month financing is available. Call 878-9393 or visit closetsbydesign.com.
Home of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Hey, it's Joe C. The chill is in the air and your backyard can still be the heart of the season. Gather your family around a beautiful outdoor fireplace from Isocurrent or Napoleon, expertly installed by CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living. From elegant stone fireplaces to wood burning or gas fire pits, CSS creates cozy spaces where memories are made and where every night can feel like a celebration. You dream it, they can build it. Visit their showroom or online at cssfireplaces.com.
CSS. Mark Watson with Hardball Creative, here to share with you an actual client review.
Dude, these shirts are sick.
Check out the shirts and other sick promo items at hardballcreative.com.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
Living on Amelia Island, having fun in Fernandina Beach? No matter what brings you to the fun, cozy town, make sure you check out the tap room at Mokama Beer Company. With a full flight of craft creations, from the Cosmico IPA to the Motor, the perfect pilsners and lagers, matching memories and some Mokama magic is what it's all about. Mokama Beer Company in Fernandina Beach, near the big water where the sun is born. And look for more Mokama craft at your local Total Wine or ABC Liquors.
Now, the Performance Painting High Performance Play of the Game. Performance Painting. Prepare, protect, preserve.
The good guys continue to make big plays over the weekend in Duval, and one of which would help put the game away. In the fourth quarter, Trevor Lawrence would find Tim Patrick for a 1-yard touchdown, making the score 28-6 with 11:38 left in regulation. The Tim Patrick score is your Performance Painting Play of the Game.
Hi folks, Jason Parker here with Performance Painting. Ever wonder what to do with leftover paint that you don't want? Here's a few options. Paint can be placed in the regular trash if it's dry. Simply stir in kitty litter to a thick consistency. Then wait a few days with the lid off till it dries. Also, if the paint is good, there's many charities or churches that would love to have it. If you'd like more tips or have a project, we'd love to help. Go to performance-painting.com. Performance Painting, repair, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting.
I'm Max Fink with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. The Orlando Magic defeated Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors 121-113 last night as they improved their record to 8-7 on the season. The Florida Gators basketball team takes the floor Friday night at 7 to play in Merrimack, and the football team will host Tennessee Saturday night at 7:30. It's 80 degrees at 5 o'clock time in temp, brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
Back to a Coyle & Sons Wednesday. Since 1927, they've been around the block and probably fenced it, too.
We thank our friends from Coyle & Sons. We surely appreciate them joining us here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM, always the Wednesday sponsor. Frangie and Caroline LaSelva with you. And do want to remind you, Wednesday, December 3rd, is the Tom Coughlin J Fund Radiothon. We're very, very excited about that. We're excited about helping make a difference like the Tom Coughlin J Fund does, and we certainly love the fact that we can help them a little bit. And with that said, we're going to look ahead a little bit and bring back one of our old friends, Melanie Lunsford is in here. Melanie,
Hello.
how are you?
I'm fine.
It is great to see you.
It's nice to see you too.
And it's great to see Zion.
Yes.
You look good. Go, say hello, man. Pull up the mic, say hello. How you doing there?
Oh, boy.
Melanie, tell us a little bit about Zion's journey. Remind us for people that weren't listening before.
Okay. December 22, Zion was diagnosed with ALL. I rushed him out to Wolfson's. Hemoglobin was A2. We went straight to ICU, and we started chemo treatment. And we stayed on chemo treatment we just rang the bell. We just got finished in May, ringing the bell, with chemo treatments in 25. It's been a long journey, but we finally made it. We're done. We just got a lifetime of appointments now. So, but the J Fund has really helped us out, really good. They've been always there supporting us.
Well, it's great that he looks so good, and you look happy, and these are great times. There's no question about that.
Yeah, without a doubt. And how much is it the family aspect of the J Fund, meeting other families that are going through this, the programs that they have? How beneficial has it been?
It has been wonderful. J Fund sponsored us to go to a momcology retreat, just the moms with kids with cancer. I met a lot of amazing moms, strong moms. And we all fit in, and we loved on each other. We all had the same stories, and it was really nice just to feel like you weren't the only person. It was, I don't have any words. They catered to us that weekend, the moms, you know, because we don't get to do too much of anything because we always in appointments and treatments and stuff like that. So to have us and just take us and not have no treatments and just be about us for a weekend, it was wonderful.
And Melanie, obviously the J Fund does so much more. They help with mortgage payments. They help with car payments.
Yes.
People, tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, so they had a auto to help with cars, fixing cars. Well, the roads are really rough in Jacksonville, and I broke a strut. J Fund stepped in and paid for my strut, which was $2,500. Wow. I didn't have to pay anything. I just had to take it and get it there. And Miss Rita, who is with J Fund, she was on the plane, and she was paying to get my car fixed. And it was just wonderful just having somebody be in your corner and understand what it's like when you got hardships coming up and you're trying to pay bills, because the bills still mounting. You know, even though you finished with treatment, you still got appointments. And when stuff like that happened, for them to step in, it was amazing. I couldn't do nothing but just thank Miss Rita and just begin to cry, because you never have no support like that. And to have that support, it meant everything to me. And I was sitting in the auto shop telling the guy about the J Fund. He was like, okay, I was like, that's a good charity. Donate. They really help us out. They really behind us 100%. We go through a lot. And he was just like, okay. But yeah,
That's
the J
awesome.
Fund has been wonderful to us.
And Melanie, the thing that I'm always so struck by is the J Fund reaches out immediately.
Yes, they do.
I mean, it's almost instantaneous.
Yes, they do. Like, I spoke to Rita the day before. The next day, she was like, Melanie, get the car in the shop. We're going to pay for it. And sure enough, I got it in the shop. She was like, okay, I'm in the air. I was like, is she really in the air? She was like, I'm in the air flying, but as soon as I land, we're going to pay for it. And sure enough, as soon as she landed, she was right there calling the people saying, hey, I'm going to pay for Melanie car. And it was just so wonderful. And even the guy, I don't think he could even believe. He was just like, wow, okay. But it was really nice, you know, because we have a lifetime of appointments now. You know, even though Zion is finished with treatment, we still have to go and make sure his numbers are right and he's good, you know. But yeah,
awesome.
J Fund is wonderful.
Zion, tell us about that. Where do you go to school? How old are you? Tell me what's going on in your world.
Ed White, 15.
Okay.
I'm just living.
Yeah, you know what? I hear you, bro. And you know what? That's a great thing, isn't it? You look great. You look great. You're a big basketball fan. Who do you root for?
Stephen Curry on the Golden State Warriors.
You're a big Steph fan, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
Why is he your guy?
Shooter.
He's a shooter. That's right. It's an easy answer, man. He can shoot. That's a dumb question. You're exactly right. Well, you guys look great. It's so good to have you in here. Melanie, tell people it's $115, by the way, is what we're asking people to give. That's the call to action, $115, because if you do that, and you certainly can go to the J Fund website and do that, and you'll be able to do it all day when we're all in here together. About 115 kids in the Jacksonville area are going to be diagnosed with cancer this year. You know, food costs are high, housing costs are high. So in honor of that number, we're going to ask people for $115 when the Radiothon comes along. A final question. Why should people help the Tom Coughlin J Fund?
It's a lot of families that really need the help. A lot of parents that are, you know, they lose their jobs. They're laid off because, you know, they have so many appointments they can't make it to work. And stuff is so high, like, the insurance are high and just everything. They help us with everything, lights, utilities, insurance for the kids. Like, everything is nothing that they won't help you with. And it's just so nice to have them in the corner helping us parents, you know.
And you know what? I get it. It's made a difference in your life. It really has. Well, Melanie, thank you so much for coming in. Melanie Lunsford and her son Zion, who looks great and is healthy. And like he said, he's just living. That was the best comment you could have made. It's an honor to have you guys in here. Thank you so much for talking about how great the J Fund is. We're honored to be part of the J Fund, and the J Fund Radiothon once again will come up on Wednesday, December 3rd. So Melanie, thank you for taking the time. Zion, good to see you, man. You look great.
Thank you for having us.
We appreciate you guys coming in. You guys have a wonderful day.
You too. Thank you.
We come back. The State Farm College Football Report is next.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Make Monday an extension of the weekend by talking football all day.
Oh, you're good.
We'll take apart the top games, key plays, and controversial calls from the weekend. Post-game Monday, served by Dandy Foods on 1010XL.
This is your escape. This is your next adventure. This is Mazda, and this is Mazda at the Avenues. Lauren Brooks here. Right now, purchase any new Mazda model, and Mazda at the Avenues will match your down payment or your payments for 1 full year. Plus, every new Mazda comes with 3 years, 36,000 miles of maintenance at no additional charge to you. This is luxury, and this is the start of something new. This is Mazda at the Avenues. For complete details, call 904-430-8047.
Frank Frangie here. These days, it's hard to know which companies to trust. But when it comes to banking, I trust South State Bank. South State truly values its customers, and they work hard to create meaningful, lasting relationships. I love going into my local branch. I see the same smiling faces I've seen for years. South State is the largest bank headquartered in Florida, so they're able to offer all the banking services you need. You can trust South State Bank. Banking forward. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
Enjoy the scenic views at Twin Peaks while you sip on half-price wine by the glass, select craft beers, and Jaeger Bomb specials. Into the Night with Rick Ballou is live 6 to 8 this Wednesday at none other than Twin Peaks, Atlantic, and Kernan.
Frank Frangie for Coil Fencing. Jacksonville is full of memorable sports moments. Remember when the Jaguars upset the Denver Broncos in the 1996 divisional round as a 14-point underdog and launched them into the AFC Championship? Well, you know who won't upset you? The team at Coil Fencing. Coil is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau and has been serving the Jacksonville community for nearly 100 years. From sleek aluminum fencing your HOA will love to tough chain link for your commercial project, Coil does it all. Visit CoilJacks.com. That's COILE Jacks.com. Coil Fencing, partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Rick Ballou here with a congratulations for John's Auto. They've been in business in Jacksonville for 40 years. That's right, going all the way back to 1985. Right now, they'd like to thank each and every one of you who's ever gotten their vehicle serviced at John's Auto. So, car, truck, or diesel, all makes, all models, whether it's a routine maintenance or a complete engine overhaul, go to John's Auto on Arlington Road, JohnAutomotiveJacks.com.
Hey gang, Prosser here. When it comes time to sell your home, don't worry about any, quote, problems you think might be related, because I've got the perfect team that will keep you right on track. In fact, they've got a guarantee that you can't beat. And that is Chad and Sandy, the agents I would call to sell my home. You see why? Your home sold guaranteed or they will buy it. Need to sell now? Chad and Sandy have instant offers. Fast, easy, and stress-free. But the promise is this. Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. Jacksonville homes are selling, but many take months and a low price to sell. Getting top price means aggressive marketing. Chad and Sandy Newman are the Jacksonville experts who have proven systems to drive demand to sell your home. Darcy in San Jose said, I felt too isolated in my retirement. I wanted to buy in a different area, better suited for me. I spoke to several agents who didn't seem to care. I needed to find someone I could rely on. In come Chad and Sandy, and in 3 days, the home was sold. ChadandSandy.com or 904-414-6200.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you. For lost or broken keys or nearly any make and model of vehicle, call 722-1111 for Instant Keys locksmith service.
Ticket here for Action Garage Door. Nothing more frustrating than your garage door misfiring. When it does, I call Action Garage Door. They take action. Jeff and Art and crew, Jacksonville folks, not some big out-of-town chain. Something goes wrong with your garage door, take action. Check them out. Garage Door 911, GarageDoor911.com.
I'm Holt Harrell with Harrell & Harrell. Choosing a law firm after an accident is an important decision. With so many messages, we know it can all sound the same. At Harrell & Harrell, we believe what sets us apart is our commitment to you. We'll help you find doctors to get you better, and we'll work hard to maximize any recovery. Visit our website and look at our reviews to see how we've helped people just like you make this important decision. Harrell & Harrell. Offices, Jacksonville.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
Time now for the State Farm College Football Report with Shane Matthews on the Gators, Tom Block on the Noles, and Joe Zagacki on the Canes. Presented by your local State Farm agent.
All right, let's start with Shane Matthews from the Gator Radio Network. He's going to talk Gator football. Brought to you by State Farm agents Mike Nickus, Ron McCann, Mike Tozel, Kathy Scott, and Jason Judy. I guess, obviously, Shane, all the news now is will he or won't he with Lane Kiffin. Boy, it's hard to get an update. You got any gut on that? And for full disclosure, Shane and I talk a lot off air about this stuff. It just seems to be changing every day. I get the hunch Lane Kiffin might not know what he's doing. What's your take on that, Shane?
I kind of feel the same way, Frank. I'm still going to stick to my guns and say he's going to be the Florida Gator coach. I guess it's more wishful thinking now, but I felt like a couple of weeks ago it was a done deal. We shall wait and see what happens here in the next few weeks.
Shane, if it isn't Kiffin, who would you like to see the school pivot to first?
I'll be honest with you, I hadn't really thought about it. That's how much I was hoping and still hope that Lane Kiffin will be our coach. But I'd have to really think about it tonight because I'm trying not to think about a second choice.
Well, let me. I'm going to expound on that. I'm going to expound on this question to you a little bit. If it's not Kiffin, wouldn't it have to be a pass-minded, offensive-minded guy with a little bit? I mean, doesn't Florida need to get back to that? Hopefully it's Lane. And by the way, I'm like you. If I was still betting, I would still bet it's Lane Kiffin. But if it wasn't, they're still going to play football next year. Wouldn't it have to be someone that maybe a little better understanding of the passing game, a little bit more of an edge? Don't you have to bring in a guy like that, Shane? Don't you think?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Lincoln Riley, Jeff Brom, one of those type of guys. I don't know if you get them this time of the year, but yeah, it's got to be an offensive-minded guy that can put up points and knows how to deal with quarterbacks.
Yeah, without a doubt. Shane, what was your favorite win over the Tennessee Volunteers that you had as a Gator?
I only had one, so that would have been 1991 in the Swamp. I mean, look, listen, this rivalry, you go back into the 90s, dude, you turn on the tape, about 90% of the dudes playing on both teams played a long time in the NFL. It was crazy. But it's a great rivalry game, and, we're sitting here 3-7. They're 7-3. Not many people are talking about the game.
You're right about that. For what it's worth, I've said this many times, Shane. I may or not have said it to you. In the 8 trillion times I've been in the Swamp, starting when I was a student there in the 70s in 1980, and then covering you all those years, and of all the times I was there, I think the Larry Kennedy interception that year was the loudest. It might be the loudest I ever heard it, Shane. I mean, of all the times I've been, who knows how many times I've been in that stadium, right? Might have been the loudest I ever heard the stadium.
Yeah, I agree with you. I was talking about that on a podcast I did with Coach Spurrier, and he kind of agreed. It was extremely loud when Larry picked that thing off. Obviously, what happened to us the previous year against Tennessee, it was one of the biggest plays in Gator history.
All right, Shane, final thing. What do the Gators have to do to win this game? How do you win this game? I mean, obviously, Tennessee plays fast. They score a lot of points. I guess you got to outscore them. Florida seems to be a team that's in a lot of games and then isn't very good in the second half and certainly the fourth quarter. What does Florida have to do to somehow have a way to win the game?
Well, first of all, Tennessee has not had much success here in quite some time in the Swamp. So you got the crowd advantage, home field advantage. Look, we're going to have to match points. We're going to have to score. We haven't had a whole lot of consistency on offense all year long, and to be able to execute and be consistent, that's the most important part of being a total offense. So you're going to have to score some points because Josh Heupel and crew will score quite a bit.
Shane Matthews checking in from the Gator Radio Network. Thank you, Shane.
Take care, guys.
All right, let's head down to Tallahassee now. Tom Block joins us. He's from the Seminole Radio Network. His report is brought to you by State Farm agents Craig Dewhurst, Ramey Alabu, Margie Williams, Scott Hobson, Brandon Thomas, and Randy Taylor. All right, Tom, it's been, for all of these reports, maybe not the Miami report, but for Florida and FSU, it's been so much doom and gloom. Maybe FSU found a little something. They lost at Clemson, but they've had 2 kind of significant wins, Wake Forest and then most recently Virginia Tech. playing a little bit better? Do you feel that way? Can I say that?
I mean, I think when you look at the last month or so since they got back from Stanford, I think that's fair. The one caveat, though, is that they haven't done it on the road this year. As a matter of fact, they haven't won a game on the road the last 2 years. So that's the thing. Last week they played a very clean game. They only had one penalty for 5 yards. They didn't turn it over. They forced 2 turnovers against a Virginia Tech team that had only turned it over 9 times all year. They actually they played situationally well. They scored the first drive in the second half, which they haven't done all year really. Got some good kick returns. So those are little things that you don't see when you look at the stat sheet. But those are the kind of things, if they could do those on Friday night, then I like their chances. But they have to prove they can do it, and they've not been able to, to really play clean and execute. And, you guys talking about execution for Florida, they haven't executed very well away from home, and they've got to do that this weekend.
Tom, NC State's sort of been up and down coming off a blowout loss to Miami. What are some things that stand out that could pose a challenge for the Noles?
NC State, and this, you guys know the history of this, certainly going back. Virginia was the first team that beat FSU in the ACC, but NC State was the first team that beat FSU consistently. And I think Chuck Amato had a lot to do with that because he had success back in the Phillip Rivers years. And ever since then, NC State has just really been confident against FSU, especially at home. And I was looking at the record, and really FSU has had about the same amount of success in Raleigh as they've had at Clemson, which is to say not much since about 2010 or so. It's tight sidelines, much like in Gainesville at the Swamp. The crowd's a little more elevated, but they're lubricated, and so it's just they always feel good and play well against Florida State. So their performance against Miami last week, I expect 180-degree different from NC State this week. I think for Florida State, the key is really going to be, can they have some success against the NC State passing game? If it's me, I bring pressure. I do whatever I can to try and just, get the quarterback off his game, get him, throwing a little sooner than he wants to, that sort of thing. But that has not been their MO per se, so we'll see. But that's where my concern is.
Final thing, Tom, I feel like I got to ask you every week, the Norvell hot seat, has it cooled a little bit? My gut tells me, particularly if they win the last 2, they get to 7-5, get to a bowl game, that at least for now everything's calmed down and he gets another year. Is it that black and white or no?
I think if he wins 2, I would agree with you. I don't have any, insider intel on that, but my hunch would be another year. If he loses these next 2, my hunch would be no. It's the gray area in between. I think what it really comes down to, if you look at the record the last 2 years, is another year warranted? Well, probably not. There's a lot of people that feel that way. But if you look at the money you have to pay out to make a change, I think you can definitely make a case to say, well, instead of spending 60 or 70 million, why don't we spend an extra 5 or 10 million and go get a different quarterback or go retool the roster or whatever it is, go hire another coach, assistant coach, but, save the other 50 or 60 million and let's go. So, I mean, I wish I knew. I just don't. I guess how they play would matter in that too, especially if they lose. If they win 2, it probably doesn't matter. If they go 1-1 the next 2, but they look bad doing it, maybe that also is a cause to make a change.
We'll have to see. Tom Block checking in from the Seminole Radio Network. Thank you, Tom.
All right, thank you, guys.
All right, let's head to Coral Gables. The terrific play-by-play voice of the Canes is my friend Joe Zagacki. His report is brought to you by Carissa McCullough and Gene Coleman, both State Farm agents. Boy, I think Miami's got it going again, Joe. I mean, that I thought NC State might hang around a little bit because they can score, and Miami beat the tar out of them. Do you feel like they've kind of refound a little something? Maybe they never lost it, but I mean, I think they're playing at a good level right now.
Well, I think they're starting to play their best football, Frank, and I think what they did find is a freshman running back, Gerard Pringle, who has given them a little more explosiveness in the run game. And, with Fletcher and Brown, those guys will pound out 3, 4, 5 yards. But Pringle is putting Miami in short yardage situations. So that's one thing they found. Beck has been really good the last 2 games, 75% and 77%, and the defense has been lights out. They were great. I haven't seen many games where the opponent didn't cross the 50-yard line in the first 55 minutes of the game.
Joe, any thing that concerns you about this matchup? It's on the road, it's noon, so you got to kind of bring the energy. But anything that the Hokies do that you think could give Miami trouble?
They're a peculiar team to prepare for because so many of their guys are opting out. But what does concern me is it's still one of the great venues in college football. They hired James Franklin the other day, so there's going to be a lot of emotion behind that. And the quarterback is 235 pounds. He's as big as Miami's 2 linebackers. So he's a handful to get on the ground. He's run the football for over 500 yards. He's their number one option running the football. And if they can hog the ball and force Miami into a couple of turnovers, then you end up in a game where the crowd is involved and they start having some hope. So Miami has to avoid that.
Joe, how has Mario Cristobal done in your mind, because you're around them a lot, in blocking out the whole in the playoffs, not in the playoffs, do we need help, are we ahead of Notre Dame, are we not, all that stuff that we all talk about on the periphery. Have they blocked that out? It certainly doesn't seem to be bothering them the last couple of games. Where do you stand on that?
I think he has I think there has to be 2 Mario Cristobals for that. He's got to kind of split himself in half. He's got to talk to his team about it one way, and he's got to talk to the public about it the other way, right? And you do have to do a certain amount of lobbying. And I do think, Frank, that Miami's kind of on the short end of this. That's what history tells me. If I look at 91 and 2000, I feel like Miami's on the short end of this. So he's got to, I think, present one face to the public, but another face to his team to kind of keep them focused on this whole deal. But they've got to play great football and let their results speak for themselves in the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think people are starting to pay attention more of late. If they roll Virginia Tech, which I think they're going to, I think there'll be more of that. We'll certainly see. Joe Zagacki, the play-by-play voice of the Miami Hurricanes. Thank you, Joe.
Okay, thank you, guys. Take care.
All right, that is the State Farm College Football Report. Shane Matthews talking Gators. Tom Block checking in on the Noles. Joe Zagacki talking Miami football with us. We'll take a break. When we come back, Kevin Kaplan's here. It's our medical report, so stay with us.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
The holidays are kicking off early at Nimnick Chevrolet. Right now, you can save up to 20% off a new Silverado or get financing rates as low as 0% on models including Silverado, Equinox, and Trailblazer during the Red Tag sales event. Now, unlike most dealerships, Nimnick Chevrolet has the largest inventory on the ground, ready for you to explore. And with their extensive selection, you're sure to find your perfect truck or SUV at Nimnick. Remember, Nimnick will always give you top dollar for your trade. Want an even better deal? Ask about our demo models for deeper discounts. Plus, the biggest sale of the year is coming, Nimnick's bigger than ever Black Friday event. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. So shop online 24/7 at nimnickchevy.com or visit that terrific car dealership right there at the corner of Park and Cassin. Now's the time to head to Nimnick. Who's got more new vehicles at the best prices? Nobody but Nimnick. Head to Nimnick today.
The Jaguars prowl in the Valley of the Sun. One team flies, the other bites. Stuck up on cactus juice, it's a duel in the desert. Jaguars Cardinals. Sunday at 1 on the home of the Jaguars. 1010 XL.
This is Richard Miller with your Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles Update. Topps Update Baseball released last week with another 350 cards to follow up Series 1 and 2. New concept card designs include Night Terrors, Most Valuable, and Bleacher Reachers. And Chrome Update will hit shelves in December. Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles. Update your collection.
The doctors at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists have resolved my hip and foot issues, and I'm back to training for the 2028 Olympics in LA. This is Garrett Scantley, and I highly recommend Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
This is David Garrard. Following my knee surgeries and recovery, I'm continuing to feel great and would recommend Southeast Orthopedic to anyone who's experiencing orthopedic pain.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
The mix of salty sea air and burnt rubber. The big skies, high banks, and grandstands. The rumble in your chest. That's
what we love about the Daytona 500. Honoring history and making it. At the biggest race of the year on the biggest stage of a lifetime. The Daytona 500. You gotta see it to believe it. February 15th, 2026. Secure your experience now at Daytona500.com.
When you step into a courtroom, you're stepping into a fight. Someone wins, someone loses. I'm attorney Brett Hastings, and at Hastings Injury Law, we've got the experience you want in your corner if you or a loved one suffer a personal injury or a wrongful death. We're here to fight for you. So if you get hit, hit back with Hastings Injury Law, offices Jacksonville. Find us on the web at 904hitback.com or call our 24-hour helpline, 904-HITBACK.
For your chance to win 4-day weekend VIP passes to the Welcome to Rockville Festival in Daytona Beach, May 15th to the 18th, text the word ROCK to the 1010XL text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures at 641-1010.
I'm Frank Frangie, and I've been telling you how proud I am of my daughter Amber, who's lost so much weight on Awaken 180. But it's been a while now, so I wonder if it's something she can maintain. So I sort of asked her, how's it going?
So far, so good, Dad. But you're right, it has been a while. But that's the beauty of the Awaken 180 plan. There's so much variety in the food choices. You don't get bored.
You look great. Do you feel better?
I feel so much better. And I know it's because of the weight loss and how it's changed my lifestyle. So there's no chance I won't sustain it.
Well, what about over the holidays? Look, you grew up in our home, and you know we love the holidays.
Oh, I still plan on enjoying the holidays. I just plan on doing it by eating right. And I've already had the conversation with my coach. She understands the challenges of the holidays, and she's guided so many folks just like me through this. We've already made a plan.
So take my kid's word for it. Awaken 180 works. It's sustainable, even over the holidays. So change your life by calling 844-346-1800 or visit awaken180weightloss.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Now, the cool down from the cool guys at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Fast, reliable, and honest service since '87.
All right, welcome back to the program. Our friend Kevin Kaplan is here. Time for our medical report in just a second. First, though, where have we been on the program today? Well, we had a wonderful visit from Melanie Lunchford. She represents the J Fund, and they've been so helpful for her and her son Zion. And it just tells you one more time how good the J Fund Radiothon or the J Fund is, and we're happy to help them with the Radiothon. Give $115 now. That's what we're asking you to do, and we'll certainly ask you that during the Radiothon. We do want to thank our friends Shane Matthews, Tom Block, and Joe Zagacki, the State Farm College Football Report. Terrific stuff from them. And, of course, Devon Hamilton, the subject of a Hayes Carline one-on-one. Brett Hastings was here earlier talking sports and courts. Now this.
Now time for the medical update with Jaguars team physician Kevin Kaplan, presented by Orthopedic Specialists of Jacksonville.
Cap is with Orthopedic Specialists of Jacksonville. He started that, and that is the name to know, Orthopedic Specialists of Jacksonville. If you have any orthopedic needs. How long has it been going now? How long?
Since summer. Yeah.
Since the summer. 6 months in, huh?
We're rolling.
Yeah,
it's so busy.
It's going great, though.
It's going great. We're doing, obviously, very busy in the community, and now we're taking care of the Icemen, the hockey team. We start doing that, and a lot of good things happening.
Yeah. And I know a lot of more good things you're going to be doing. So that's exciting as well. So we're all excited about that for you. We'll talk more about that as kind of the days go along. All right, I got a lot to get to today. Again, for people that know, if you've listened to this and you haven't, Kevin works for the Jaguars. We can't say which players are playing or not playing. That's not fair to the Jags. We're not going to do that. But you give us kind of an overview of everything that's going on around the league, around sports, and then stuff that has happened in the past with the Jaguars. So we'll certainly get to that when we can. But we were talking during the break about Michael Penix, the Atlanta quarterback. In 2018, his career ended when he tore his right ACL at Indiana. In 2020, he tore the same ACL again, the right ACL, gone again. Now this year, he tore the left ACL. So he's had the right tore twice. Now the left one is torn. Do you have to worry if he's in some danger of not being able to play down the road? What's your take on seeing all this?
Yeah, I mean, you never like to see a guy have multiple ACL injuries. Now, it can happen, right? I mean, this is a sport where you can tear an ACL an infinite number of times, realistically, right? I mean, when we do an ACL reconstruction, they're not Superman repairs. So it can happen. You hope that it doesn't happen. But these guys that are cutting, planting, pivoting, some guys have a little bit of play in their joints, a little bit more lax. Obviously with him, it's hard to say, but the right one seems to be doing well. I remember meeting him at the combine, and obviously we look at the knee and look at everything he's gone through. Certainly couldn't predict that he was going to have a left-sided ACL, but it's a concern. Do I think he'll get back? I do. He's a young guy, and this is the first time on that other side, so I do believe he'll get back.
If you've had a torn ACL, you're more likely to tear it again as opposed to somebody who's never torn their ACL? Or if you've torn your ACL, it strengthens and you're less likely to tear it than a normal person? What is the data on that?
Yeah, so, if the surgery's done well, you put the graft in the right place, we have to place the ACL anatomically where it's supposed to be. If you do that, then the risk of a re-injury should approach baseline for what you would have if you never tore your ACL. But obviously they're returning to the same sport that they tore their ACL. And there are some things that we can do and newer technologies, things that I do. For instance, if I have someone that's extremely loose jointed, I will augment or I will add an extra restraint on the outside of the knee to help give a little bit of extra stability. I'm doing that a lot more also with the high impact sports like football and basketball, where you may see a higher risk of recurrence. And so I do everything I can to mitigate that recurrence from happening.
Is there truth? I've asked you this before, whether it's an Achilles or an ACL, they used to say it comes back stronger than it was before. Is that true?
No, I don't think that's true. It comes back and you try to get them back to their normal playing speed and their normal activity, but it's not going to be stronger, so to speak.
But that was the myth, right?
Right,
We all
right.
remember everybody said it'll be stronger than it was before, but no.
Same thing with Tommy Johns. They say, if you do my Tommy John, I can throw faster. And the reality of Tommy Johns is they were probably micro tearing their ulnar collateral ligament, that Tommy John ligament, over a course of years. Yeah. And so their velocity was slowly decreasing. And so some of those athletes whose velocity had gone down, then they got their Tommy John reconstruction, and then they got back to throwing the way they were throwing before they were tearing their ligaments. So that was where the myth came from. Oh, yeah, I was throwing faster now with my ulnar collateral ligament reconstruction.
And the truth is it was hurt a little bit before, before the injury.
Exactly.
We saw Joe Burrow back at practice today, full strength. But, boy, that injury that he sustained in week 2 against the Jaguars, that toe, boy, the toe has been kind of almost the spotlight injury this year because of Burrow, Brock Purdy, and Brock Purdy looked great last week. But boy, that must be a stubborn, frustrating injury for the athlete and for the doctor treating it.
You toe off, you push off. Everything that you do in regards to cutting, planting, running is based off of you being able to push off your toe. And so if that plate on the bottom of the foot gets injured, it can be extremely frustrating for running backs, quarterbacks. I mean, even our offensive linemen have to dig their feet into the ground. It's a very difficult thing to kind of get by. It's not like a shoulder strain where you can kind of work around it. I mean, you have to be able to plan.
The Florida basketball team played here Sunday night after the Jaguars game. Micah Handlockton, their 7'1" center, collided with the guy. You could see you saw it, Hayes.
Yeah, he didn't know where he was.
I don't know if he was groggy. Man.
He had that far away look.
I don't know if you saw it or not.
I did not see that.
But Kevin, he looked boilable.
He didn't know where he was.
He didn't know where he was, and gone for it was in the first half. Gone for the game with the concussion. And we talk concussions every week in this. I know this, but it's still. I'm trying to get my head around it. Still, even in basketball, you got to pass the same test, I would imagine, right?
Absolutely. I mean, the idea and what we know about concussions now, as opposed to what we didn't know in the past, is that it is a brain injury, and you have to let the brain relax. You have to let the brain get back to baseline. Otherwise, you have a risk for a kind of a second hit phenomena, a concussion on top of a concussion, and that's not an ideal scenario. So these guys have to get back to baseline, and we're all, as sports physicians now, really smart about taking care of their brains.
He was not even on the bench. He never came back to the bench. Would they have kept him in a dark room? You hear? Is that a thing?
Not anymore. Not really dark room, but the idea that the Madden rule in the NFL is that if you have a concussion, if you're concussed during the game, and you are diagnosed with a concussion, that you have to remain in the locker room for the remainder, and we leave one of our athletic trainers in the locker room.
That's just a rule.
That is a rule.
So,
Yeah,
okay.
you're not allowed to be out there. And
why is that?
Well, I mean, there's the thought process of you did just have a brain type injury and want things to kind of settle down and relax and
quiet, not as much craziness.
Exactly right. And we're sometimes you really have to take the helmet away from the player. I mean, some of the players, I remember when Paul Posluszny, had a concussion, and he was not happy when he wanted to get back. That's the kind of guy he is. But, even a guy like that, you got to, be smart. And he was, vehemently trying to get back into the game, wanted to get back in the game. And at the end of the game, he said, you guys were right.
Yeah, right,
so,
right.
So you have to be really smart, remove them from the field. And that's just a rule that's in the NFL. I'm sure they do the same thing in college basketball.
Finger injuries are really interesting. And it made me think of a story that I heard when I was a kid. And I'm curious to get your opinion on it. So Ronnie Lott, the Hall of Fame 49ers safety, had some sort of a thumb or finger injury. I think on his pinky maybe. And they lopped off the finger. Is that obviously I know there's no chance that would have happened even maybe 25 years ago. But in your field, is that a story that almost is it not old wives' tales because it happened,
right?
But is it amazing to think that we're not that far removed from that being the course of action?
Yeah, that I heard that same story, and I put in that situation, I never would do that. So
you've never cut a finger off?
No. We've had some really bad finger injuries, and guys coming off and blood in the glove and really bad lacerations we had to stitch. But that old school day, I think, is gone by the wayside. But yeah, it's amazing to me to think that was the solution at the time to get him to keep playing is mind blowing.
Have you had many injuries where the bone comes through the skin, you see the blood and all that? Does that happen very often?
Not very often. I have had it happen, and that's a high risk situation in regards to infections and things like that. It's not something we haven't seen coming through my training, and I trained in New York City. I did trauma in Seattle. And we saw unbelievable, traumatic injuries were situations like that. And obviously the only difference between those situations and this situation is you have thousands of people watching what's going on, right? So that's the only difference. But
I don't think I could watch that. The bone comes through the skin and the blood.
Well,
I know you're trained for it. I'm not. Right. I'm just a radio guy. But I just stop. Yeah, I don't even like that I asked the question.
I can see it in your face. Is you gonna pass out?
I think the anniversary of the Theismann injury was a day or two ago.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
I mean, we had one. My very beginning of as an assistant, the Buffalo Bills center, Eric Wood had it didn't come through the skin, but it was close, and they left him here obviously, and I ended up fixing him that year. We became good friends. Anytime we go to Buffalo, I still talk to him.
I think he's on their broadcast team.
That's right.
Now.
That's exactly right. Great guy.
Yeah, very well respected. Final question. So the Florida and George Gum, you see where he's out? He's gone for the year with meniscus, and the talk was he could have played through it, but he's having meniscus surgery. Tell me, I know you don't know this case, but tell me about, do you play through meniscus? Do you?
You can. I'm sure there's a lot of things that are going on with him. Obviously.
If they were undefeated and
right,
tell me.
Yeah, meniscus. You have the ability to play through that. Obviously, if you're having mechanical locking and your knee doesn't bend or move, then that's a different story. But a lot of these are just pain situations or a little bit of instability, and you can brace and tape and certainly work through it. But at some point, he probably got to a point where it was bothering him too much, and he was trying, and he didn't feel like he was giving his best, and that's probably the situation here. And obviously, he's got his future to think about as well. So those are tricky. Those aren't always black and white. There's a lot of gray with meniscus tears, and some people have meniscus tears and never have them fixed, kind of play through, because sometimes less is more, right?
Is it just a pain thing?
A lot of times it is, unless it's causing instability. It's like sometimes meniscus, you can chip off a piece, and it can get caught between the bones. It's like having a marble in your shoe, right? If I put a little pebble or marble in your shoe, if that marble wasn't in a spot where it bothered you, you could walk around fine. But if it got right underneath your heel and you stepped on it, it hurts. And meniscus tears are very much like that. If it's in the right place and in the right situation, it can really cause difficulty.
All right, Kevin Kaplan, he is the Jaguars team physician. 17 years now, is that right?
17
years. Are you old
somebody.
enough to have done it 17 years?
Well, yeah. Dave hired me young, man.
It's amazing.
17 years.
Lucky to have him.
Appreciate it.
And he has started orthopedic specialist of Jacksonville. That is our medical report. Cap, thanks, buddy. We appreciate it. Back to wrap the program after this.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
This is Brent Musburger's VSIN Action Update on 1010XL. Brought to you by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. When you're stuck, call the Duck. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
The latest odds for the NFL MVP, Matt Stafford of the Los Angeles Rams, the betting favorite to take home the honor. He is at plus 150. New England quarterback Drake May in his second year in the league, plus 175. Josh Allen of the Bills, plus 550 to repeat as the league's MVP. Running back Jonathan Taylor, who leads the NFL in rushing, is plus 750. Patrick Mahomes, plus 2,200 to win MVP honors. Jalen Hurts of the Eagles, plus 4,000. Lamar Jackson of the Ravens is also plus 4,000. Myles Garrett of the Cleveland Browns is minus 300 to take home the NFL Defensive Player of the Year honors.
Progressive helping veterans drive their lives forward. More info, keysofprogress.com.
Hey Jacksonville, Rick Ballou here. Looking for a brand new truck? Right now, Crew Cab Ram trucks start at just $38,900 at Jacksonville Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram West Side. And every new retail purchase comes with a lifetime powertrain warranty and no extra cost. From tough Ram trucks to adventure ready Jeeps, they've got the perfect ride waiting for you. Stop by Commonwealth Avenue or shop online at jackswest.com. Jacksonville Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram West Side, proud partner of the Jaguars.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. If you're dreaming of putting in a pool this year, choosing the right company is the most important decision you'll make. I've trusted Stanley Pools to build my pool, renovate my pool, and maintain my pool. Stanley Pools has been the best in the business since 1988, and they're still family-owned. Call them today at 904-269-7277 or find them online at stanleypoolsfl.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
Our slogan, Know Before You Blow, applies to more than just DUI cases. Hi, I'm attorney Lee Lockett of Lockett Law. Battery charges can result in jail time and criminal convictions too, so know before you blow a gasket and hit a loved one or a stranger. Drug crimes like possession of marijuana and cocaine will land you in cuffs too, so know before you blow. In a boating under the influence case, you also have the option to blow or not to blow. So know your options. Know Before You Blow. Go to knowbeforeyouBlow.com now. Offices Jacksonville.
Don't ignore plumbing leaks. They can lead to mold and mildew or structural damage and drain your wallet. So when you have a leak and can't wait a week, call Roland Reich Plumbing. PlumbingJacksonville.com.
Are you ready to upgrade your windows or patio doors? It's the Black Friday sales event going on now at Renewal by Andersen. Buy now and pay nothing until 2027. That's no money down, no payments, and no interest for 2 years. This offer expires November 30th. Renewal by Andersen, proud partner of the Florida Gators. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation.
License number CGC 1527613.
I'm Frank Frangie, and I just got back from the farm at Okefenokee. Man, it's incredible. Just an hour north of Jacksonville and Folkestone. I was so impressed. It's about connecting with nature, with food, with community. And now you can own your very own handcrafted cabin tucked into a 1,000-acre regenerative farm. Everything you need is there. You'll hardly need to go grocery shopping. Learn more about all of it at okefarm.com. That's O-K-E farm.com, the farm at Okefenokee.
Hey gang, Prosser here. Jacksonville homes are selling, but it can take months, and it takes a price lower than you want. Well, getting top price means aggressive marketing, and Chad and Sandy Newman are the Jacksonville experts who have proven systems to drive the demand to sell your home. And they have this unbelievable promise and guarantee. Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. No required costly repairs. Pick your move date. If you need to sell now, Chad and Sandy have instant offers. Fast, easy, and stress-free. You want max price? Chad and Sandy are going to aggressively market your home, and they're going to get it. Anthony and Mary in Palm Coast said, we wanted to move back home closer to family. Getting max price was more important than a fast sell, but we had only purchased our home last year, so we didn't have much equity. After just 23 days of aggressive marketing with Chad and Sandy, they sold our house at the price we needed to make the move. Call the Jacksonville experts you can trust, and I recommend. Call Chad and Sandy at 904-414-6200 or chadandsandy.com.
La playa
is Spanish for the beach. If you can't remember that, the word Corona also works. Corona, La Playa awaits.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
Back to a Coyle & Sons Wednesday. Since 1927, they've been around the block and probably fenced it, too.
The word is out. That's the people to call when you need a fence. Coyle & Sons, call them at 904-356-4821. CoyleJacks.com, that's C-O-I-L-E, CoyleJacks.com. They do so much work for us at the Bregan Baseball Complex and really all around our Fort Family Regional Park. But they do it for you, too. Residential fencing, commercial fencing, overhead doors, bathroom partitions. There's so much stuff they can do. Give them a call. And of course, and oh, by the way, the official fencing company of the Jacksonville Jaguars. That's significant as well. So the word is out. The Coyle & Sons folks, they are the folks to use when you want to do fencing. JJ, real quick, did you see the ESPN Major League Baseball deal? Did you follow that at all?
I saw that it's going to be on Peacock and a couple other networks. I didn't really see too many specifics.
Yeah, so it's Sunday Night
Or
Baseball.
ESPN bought MLB TV.
That's
I saw
right.
that.
Yeah, so NBC will have Sunday Night Baseball, which I think is kind of cool.
I love that.
And the wild card. Netflix is going to have the Home Run Derby. Netflix. So the Home Run Derby is on Netflix. ESPN has lost both of those packages, but they do have the MLB.TV. So anything you watch out of market, they're getting that, which means you can also get it on the ESPN app. So just if you have that one app, you can get
nice.
You can get all the games.
I like that.
So instead of just having to go to MLB.TV.
I wonder if you still have to have a subscription to MLB TV.
Yeah, I don't think you do.
Really?
I think
Nice.
if you have that ESPN app, I think you can get that. And ESPN still gets its 30 games or whatever. So that landed in a good spot.
Hopefully Netflix will bring Chris Berman back for the Home Run Derby.
Yeah,
back.
But Netflix has, but it looks like that's in a good place.
I great think, ratings this past season for baseball.
And that's what did it, JJ. What did it was people started paying attention to baseball. I'll say this: baseball has found something. By the way, I saw a story the other day that said Kyle Schwarber is a free agent, right?
Yeah.
And it said
future Brave. Hopefully.
It said in a surprising move. Unlike past years, don't be surprised if the Pirates are a player for him.
Sure.
The Pirates are going to spend money.
You got a good laugh about
that? No, I think there's a pretty good possibility of that. And there's a second thing, too. There's a pretty good possibility that I'm going to star opposite Margot Robbie. Okay? In fact, I think there's a better chance of that.
Is there a better chance of Summerall being the head coach of the Gators?
I mean,
or are you guys signing Kyle Schwarber?
I laughed so hard I fell off. Sure they are. Sure. The Pirates who spend nothing, they're going to now go sign Kyle Schwarber. What's he getting? What's Schwarber getting?
I would say, I don't know if we'll get a long deal because he's kind of old, but he's
year.
like a $30 million a year.
He's getting
guy,
$30 million.
25, 30.
He's going to get $30 million. Sure, we're going to do that.
Right.
The team payroll was like 80, okay, and they're going to pay one guy 30, right? Of course they are. So I got a good laugh out of that. So all right, let's say hello to Rick Ballou.
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnicht. Nimnicht Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnicht Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
Rick Ballou joins us from Twin Peaks. How you doing, Rick?
I'm well. Are you kidding me? Twin Peaks on a Wednesday, middle of the week. You can already see the weekend. Tell you what an environment here. I just look around. I see all these Jaguar fans are relishing in the win. I mean, they're ready to go to the desert, but they're still enjoying what happened 3 days ago.
Rick, you're our travel beat reporter for the day. Are you going to Phoenix? You're going to be there?
I'm not going to Phoenix. I'm going next week to Nashville.
Okay.
I'm not going to Phoenix.
Okay.
Right. Nonetheless, it's going to be a very interesting game. Much like last week, both these teams really beaten up.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. How do you feel about this game? Because this game, there's not a lot of buzz about it because it's not here and it's not a prominent opponent. How do you feel about this game?
I think Jacoby Brissett is the best backup quarterback in the NFL. I mean, this guy's played in big moments in college and in pro. He's been all over the place. I mean, 47 of 57 last week. It's a record all-time for the most completions in one game. The deal, though, is that as bad as Jacksonville is injury-wise, Arizona's right there as well. And on top of that, Marvin Harrison Jr. goes down. So, you know, it's a long trip. They haven't won out there since 2005. That's a concern. But, you know, to me, this is a game that Jacksonville really does need. They surprised me with what they did a week ago in a dominant performance. They need to go on the road here and beat Arizona. They're a better team than Arizona, so they should be able to go out there and win it. But, that's why they play the game.
All right, you're going to talk about that tonight? What else?
Oh, we got it all tonight. It's going to be a whole heck of a lot of fun, a lot of NFL, a lot of Jaguar talk. John Osher is going to join us. Also a bunch on college football tonight as well. So really looking forward to it. Again, we invite you to come on by to Twin Peaks right here. It's on the corner of Atlantic and Kernan. You cannot miss it.
All right, Rick Blue at Twin Peaks. Thank you, Rick.
See ya.
That'll do it. Rick goes into the night. Don't go anywhere. Go see Rick at Twin Peaks or just be listening in. We're out of here tomorrow, 2 to 4. That's our 2 to 4 show every Thursday. For Hayes and JJ, I'm Frank Frangie. So long.